Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hello! How the devil are you? Thanks for coming. Right, now today's video is going to be the first in a little mini series over the next few months, all about blogging tips. So last year my blog turned 10 years old. 10 years! Where has the time gone? I can't even believe it. And I wanted to use this 10 years worth of experience to make this series of videos to share my tips with you guys. And I'm going to try and cover as many topics as I can. So we're going to start with the basics on how to start a blog. I'm going to run through photography tips, how to take your blog to the next level, how to make money, how to work with brands, absolutely everything. So I'm really hoping that you guys are going to enjoy and also find this series really useful. But for today's video, we're going to go right back to the beginning, back to basics. And it's all going to be about how to actually start a blog. So what exactly do you need to start a blog? Well, number one, you need to be creative. That's top of the list. If you don't have that creative streak within you, then you're probably going to struggle with this. You also need passion. You need to be so passionate about the topic or topics that you're going to be talking about. And when I talk about topics, you can choose whatever you like. I can guarantee you any topic that you think to talk about, there is going to be someone out there that is going to want to read what you're writing about. Whether it be fashion, beauty, lifestyle, travel, home, gardening, cars, trains, making beads, I don't know, absolutely anything. So for most of you, your blog will be started as a hobby. That's how I started. I worked in retail, I was a manager, I worked for Zara, and I started my blog as an outlet for my creativity that I couldn't quite express at work. Okay, so you're creative and you've got a passion, you've got an idea, something you want to talk about. What's next? Well, you're going to need to choose your platform. Which platform are you going to blog on? Now, for me, there are 3 key platforms out there which are definitely worth thinking about. Blogger, Squarespace, and WordPress. Now, I actually started off on Squarespace and it was nothing like what it is today. It was really, really basic. The interface was not very easy to use and my website looked horrific, quite frankly. But back in those days, I knew nothing more. I didn't know that it was going to become a career, and also I relish in the fact that I started off a bit crap because it gives you room to grow. It's always good to start off a little bit crap. And then from Squarespace, I actually moved about 2 years later, I think it was, to Blogger. Now, back in those days, there was no way to migrate all of your posts if you were on a different hosting site. So all of those 2 years worth of EJ style posts on Squarespace have now been lost to the internet's black hole. I spent about 2 years on Blogger and then I migrated all of my old posts and I moved over to self-hosted WordPress. Now, if you want my opinion, I would suggest going with Blogger. The interface is very, very simple to use. It's really, really easy, very, very straightforward. There are loads of templates to choose from and you can also buy really reasonably priced templates. We're talking from about $13 off sites like Etsy. So that's a winner. Next up, you're going to need a name. And if I could talk to myself 10 years ago, I would tell myself to think very, very carefully about the name. Because for ages, people called my blog Edge Style. No! And if there's anyone out there that still doesn't know what my blog is called, it's EJ Style, which actually it's not going to be for very long because I'm rebranding as Emma Hill. So that brings me to the fact that your name is always a good place to start. It's not gimmicky, it doesn't tie you to anything specific, it's just you. And being you is the most important thing about your blog. And I know it sounds super cheesy, but be yourself is the best advice any blogger can get. Right, once you've got your platform all set up, your name is there, you are ready to go. So let's talk about equipment. The question is, and this is actually a massive misconception of starting a blog, Do you need an expensive camera to start a blog? Well, the answer is no. Don't underestimate the power of iPhones these days, or any other brand of smartphone. I know the Google Pixel 2 has apparently got an insane camera, so that's also something to bear in mind. But whatever smartphone you have got, so long as it's one of the relatively newer ones, their cameras are excellent. They produce excellent quality photos. A lot of them have a lot of technology inside, which are actually very, very similar to some of the mirrorless cameras out there on the market at the moment. And with all the different editing apps that you've got to choose from, you can definitely create some absolutely beautiful photos with just your phone. However, if you did want to invest in a starter camera, then the camera that I would suggest to you is the Olympus Pen. It's such a brilliant camera. You've got interchangeable lenses on there, so you can buy new lenses. There's a 45mm lens which will get you that blurry background if that's the effect that you're looking for, and it comes in at under £500, so it is a brilliant camera to start with. Another bonus of the Pen is that it actually will connect to your phone, so via Wi-Fi you can connect it up to your phone, so you can still transfer all of your images that you've taken on the camera or videos, and you can put them onto your phone, and you can still use all of those editing apps to edit your pictures on your phone. So you don't need to go and buy Photoshop, you don't need to go and buy Lightroom, you don't need any big expensive fancy editing software. There are apps like VSCO that I use on a daily basis for all of my Instagram pictures. It's an excellent app, and you can really create some very, very nice editorial looking photos. Right, now there's something that comes hand in hand with your blog, and that of course is social media. So I would advise setting yourself up a new social handle, particularly for Instagram, which is set aside completely different to one that you have maybe for your personal life. So I would set up a brand new one, have the name tie in with your blog name so that it's all in sync with each other. It's like starting off with a fresh slate, and it's nice to keep some things private. Other social channels I would recommend are Facebook and Twitter. I believe Facebook is still the #1 social media platform, which I find so difficult to believe. I hate Facebook, if I'm being honest with you. I barely ever use it. I'm definitely an Instagram girl. Twitter is also a really good one. It's good for having a conversation. It's also a good place to have to publicise your blog post. So when you've written a blog post, you can do a coinciding tweet, and that will push that out there to the world. I wouldn't recommend starting a YouTube channel at the same time as your blog. I would probably say to do one or the other. You're either going to do a blog or YouTube, because me and Simon are full-time. Obviously I have Simon, so that's another pair of hands on board, and doing the blog, Instagram and YouTube takes up all of our time. This is not a 9 to 5, this is all day, every day. Right, so now you've got all of the bare bones that you need to start writing your blog, and now this is where the fun part comes in, because now you're going to start writing, you're going to start creating that content, start getting all those little mind farts out there. Now, when you first start out writing a blog, it is very much about trial and error. This is something that maybe you've never done before, and so it's going to take some time getting used to. You don't know how long it's going to take for you to take photos. Maybe you don't even know what you want your photos to look like yet. It's all about playing with things, having fun. Just definitely have fun. If this is not fun, it's not worth it. So you're going to be playing around with things, playing around with your imagery, playing around with your writing style, and having a little think about what things you're going to be writing about. So maybe one week you might want to do an outfit post, the next week maybe you want to do something about interiors because you've bought a new sofa. Whatever it may be, it's all about having a little play around. But the one thing that readers love is consistency. Now, I'm sure lots of you guys actually read blogs yourself. Maybe that's the reason why you've been inspired to write your own blog. And I'm sure if you think about it, you look forward to your favourite bloggers' posts going up on certain days. So at the moment, I do 3 blog posts a week, and they go live on a Monday, a Wednesday and a Friday. And so you guys know that if you head over to my blog on those days, you're going to get a brand new post, along with, of course, my YouTube videos, which are every Wednesday and every Sunday. Now, of course, if you've got a full-time job and you're just starting this blog for a hobby, 3 posts a week might seem scary as heck. Yes, don't dive in too deep. Just play with 1 a week. Maybe Sunday or Saturday becomes your blogging day, and you spend that day, you go out, do some photos, or stay in, depending on what your topic is. Do your photos, edit your blog post, write it all up, and then maybe post it the following day. And that can be your blog day. So I often equate writing a blog post to the phrase, what came first, the chicken or the egg? For me, it's what came first, the photos or the idea. So I work on 2 completely different methods. Sometimes I might feel really inspired and I might come up with an idea or come up with something that is relevant to the current time of year. Let's say, for example, if I were to do a post on winter coats. I know I want to do a post on winter coats, so I go out, I source all of the things that I need to create that post. I maybe call in some product from brands. Obviously that doesn't quite apply to you guys yet, but we will get to that in later videos, don't you worry. And I will go out and I will shoot this content to the brief that I've set myself, which is winter coats. However, on the flip side of that, sometimes I'm not feeling so inspired and I might just need to go out because I know I've got a blog post due. I might just need to go out and crack on and get some photos done, and then I will decide on the topic that I'm going to write about later. There's nothing wrong with either of these 2 methods of working, whatever suits you, or you can do what I do and mix them both up depending on your mood and depending on your level of inspiration at that point. Now, a lot of the examples that I give throughout these videos are going to be tied to my own experiences. So of course I am a fashion blogger, I've dabbled in other topics here and there, but predominantly my area of expertise, if you will, is fashion blogging. So if I use a general outfit post, for example, what is the starting point for this outfit post? Well, first of all, I've got to get together my outfit. So I have a rifle through my wardrobe. Maybe I've got a specific idea in my head. I often have a Pinterest board where I collate lots of images which inspire me. Sometimes it's colours, sometimes it's actual outfits, sometimes it's interiors which actually inspire my outfits. That might not make sense to you guys, but this is how my mind works. Or sometimes an outfit literally just pops into my head. Sometimes this happens in the middle of the night and I actually have to write it on my phone in my notes so that I remember in the morning I dreamt about a really cool outfit and I need to put that together. So once I've got my outfit together, Simon and I have a little sit down and we discuss any ideas that might surround this outfit. So a lot of the time the location where we're going to shoot this outfit will depend on the colour. If I'm wearing a really dark colour, you don't really want to go and shoot against dark railings or against a dark wall. You want it to stand out, so you want something a little bit brighter. We also have other elements to think about, so how far are we going to travel to get to our location? And the weather plays a massive part as well. That's the one thing that I actually dislike about being a blogger, is the weather. It can really screw you over. So if it's raining or if it's blowing an absolute hurricane, then it's a no-go, which is very annoying, especially if, like me, if it's now your career and you've got deadlines to meet and a very tight schedule to work to. When the weather decides to change its mind, oh, it really makes me dislike Mother Nature. But once we've decided on all those other factors, we head off to shoot. Now I'm going to touch on photography in a video later on in the series, so there will be plenty more on that. But I did talk about photography kit earlier on in this video, and I just want to touch on photography briefly again now. Obviously, you need someone to operate your camera. Now for a good, I'd say year, no, it was longer than a year. How long was it? It could have actually been about 3 years, because back in the early days when I was on Squarespace, my photography was a compact camera set up on a tripod that I used to put the timer on, and I used to have to stack some cushions against the wall in our apartment where I used to take my photos against. I stacked some cushions up so that the camera had a focus point. So I basically made an Emma out of my sofa cushions. I had to then run in my outfit, which often involved absolutely hideous high heels, throw all the cushions into my kitchen and then stand and pose, which did often involve something like this. Cringe. And as convenient as that was for me at the time, it is so much easier if you can go out to a nice location and you've got someone to take your photos for you. So rope someone in, friend, family member, mum, dad, husband, wife, neighbour that lives next door. Just rope someone in that wouldn't mind going out with you and taking a few photos maybe once a week, because it's going to make your life so much easier. Now, on average, when me and Simon go out, I would say we probably take in between maybe 200 and 300 images for that one outfit, and then we wheedle those down to about a maximum of 12 images, which sometimes is really difficult to get up to 12 if we've not had the best shooting day. It definitely happens. Sometimes it's actually difficult to bring them down to 12 because we've had a really good shooting day and I'm like, I love all these pictures, they're all awesome. But in terms of photos, I would definitely say a maximum of 12 and a minimum of about 5 to 6. And of course, this is again going to depend on your topic. So I'm just obviously equating this to an outfit post, and to just make sure that you focus on different areas of the outfit. So if you've got some jewellery on, make sure you take a nice detailed close-up of your jewellery. If you've got a certain element of the coat, maybe it's got some venting on the back or it's got really beautiful buttons, then just make sure that you take close-ups of all those elements along with some further away shots of the full outfit as a whole. Right, so normally once me and Simon have got all of our outfit photos shot, we head home, stopping off occasionally, more than occasionally, for a sneaky McDonald's or KFC. This is also a really good way to bribe whoever is going to take your photos. It's what I used to do with Simon. I used to tempt him by saying, come and take my photos and I will buy you lunch. Honestly, it works. Right, now you're back home, you're going to edit your photos and refine them down to that prime number that you want to fit into your post. And then from there, you're going to start to write your blog post. Now, you do not have to be the best writer in the world. I am certainly not the best writer in the world. I didn't go to university, so I wouldn't say I'm higher level educated. But what I like to do is I like my personality to shine through, and I like to talk to you guys like we're all sat in my bedroom having a gossip. I speak to you guys as if you are my friends, because you are my friends. You may be my virtual friends, but I still class you guys as my friends, and that is how I like my writing style to be. Now, everyone is different. Some people have got absolutely incredible writing prowess, and it's absolutely amazing to read some of their work. Other people, not so much. But I still enjoy reading a different array of blogs because it's about that personality that shines through. Now, the reason people come to read blogs is because it's informative, it's maybe inspiring, it's going to give them ideas, and they value your opinion. So you want to give them as much information as you can within this blog post. Talk about the fit of items of clothing, the sizing, how it works. Maybe something fits a little bit on the large size, so you need to size down, or vice versa. All of this information is really, really helpful to have within a blog post. Right, now once you've got your blog post done, you're going to post that live or schedule it for whatever time you want it to go live. And then my next tip would be to push that blog post with social media. So I personally use a scheduling app. It's also a website which I can use on the Mac and on the laptop, and it's called Hootsuite. Now, you do have to pay for this. There are some free versions as well, which I will link below in the description box of this video for you guys to check out. But it is an absolute godsend. So Hootsuite is really good for scheduling your posts on Facebook. You can also schedule your posts on Twitter. Now, Twitter is the one that I find quite annoying because I just don't go on Twitter very much. I find it's a little bit moany, if I'm being honest with you, but it is a really good platform to push your blog post on because it can have a really, really high reach. Social is just incredible for getting your content out there. But the only thing you can't schedule is Instagram. So that's very much of the moment, but if you're anything like me, you will practically live on Instagram anyway. To promote your blog post on Instagram, I would normally say to choose one detail photo and one full-length outfit photo. Now, I would use the detail photo to push the blog post on the same day the post goes live, so it just almost gives people a little snippet of what they can catch on the blog, because what you don't want to do, you've spent all this time, all this creativity creating this beautiful post, what you don't want people to do is to just stay on Instagram and then not go over to your blog post, because that can be quite disheartening, believe me. And then maybe a few days after that, that's when I would advise posting the full length image, and that just gives that blog post one more push, and it also gets that image out there. Right guys, so I think I've touched on all the main basic points of starting a blog and writing that first blog post. If you start a blog after watching this video, or if I've given you the little nudge that you needed, leave me your link in the comments below, because I want to go and check them all out, and I promise I will. I will click on every single link. So long as it's not porn, okay? I don't want to be watching porn. So I'm going to leave you guys here to go do your thing, go write your posts, have a play, have fun, and I will catch you guys in the next video, which will be next month, and that is going to go into a lot more detail of how to take your blog to the next level. So thank you so much for watching, and if there's anything else that you guys want to know for future videos, or if there's any questions you've got about this video, leave me a question down in the comments section below and I will get back to you ASAP on that, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!